plant, off that hezzy, exchange, go ahead and find that line.
As we look to create space, we're gonna be starting off with the side step. Now, the side step is as popular, if not more popular today than the step back. Many people call it a step back, but when we create space laterally, that's gonna be our step back. As if we go to the right, we're gonna be replacing our right foot. Vice versa, if we go to the left, we're replacing our left foot. So we're gonna be looking at the touch step back, which means is we're not taking an extra dribble. We're gonna go ahead and get right into that replace and delay that pickup. If we get into an early pickup, replace, then get right into our side step, that's gonna be an easy travel. So we wanna delay our pickup, let that ball float, touch right into that side step. We're gonna go ahead and get right into our punch, into our side step, but we're gonna go ahead and set it up right now with a combo. Off this combo, pop, pop, we're low, then we're upright, taking a breath, and hitting them with that almost surprise side step. Now it's important we change our body heights. 1, 2, let that ball float, we're upright, right into that punch. Damian Lillard gets into this right as best as anybody in the league. We're gonna go right into that tween behind. That's one of his favorite setups. Lift, take that breath, punch, and we're reaching for space. We're gonna sort of get into a misdirection. Off this exchange, we're gonna pull the opposite way, letting that ball float in our hand right into our side step. Now it's gonna be very important. We're not picking it up early, replace, then side step, right? That's an easy call. Many people also think that your steps count as soon as you dribble the basketball. Your steps count once you gather or pick up the basketball. Now, I want you to listen to the slap or the gather of the basketball. We want to delay that pickup as long as we can, not letting that hand come underneath the basketball, but rather hand on top or on the side. Off this exchange, it's a misdirection, let it float. We want to get right into that last second pickup. Whenever we get into our speed stops, we want to time ball and foot hitting the floor in sync. Now, once we come into that complete stop, we're going to look to create additional space in the form of reverse steps. Now, these aren't step backs. These are going to be reverse steps where we simply step straight back. Step backs kind of come in a form of an angle. These are gonna be straight back. These are our reverse steps. Now off that speed stop, ball and foot in sync, we're gonna reach back for space, delaying that pickup. So we're speed stop, reverse steps. Now notice that pickup came late. Left, right, left, right. If we're going to our left, our footwork is gonna be right, left, right, left. Now for right-handed dominant players, it's gonna be a little more natural to go to your right. So once again, that footwork is gonna be left, right, left, right. Let's go ahead and take a look. We're gonna be looking at that speed stop footwork again. As we get into that speed stop, this time between the legs, ball and foot are in sync. We're gonna go ahead and get right back into our reverse steps. Same exact footwork, we're just going between the legs. Left, right, as we get into that. Now, once again, it's gonna be a little more easier and natural for right-handed players to get into this. Going to their right, we have our footwork, left, right. No extra dribble, we're letting that ball float, and we're getting right into it. The last form of reverse steps that we're gonna be looking at when it comes to getting right into our shot is gonna be off our combo. tween behind combo, and we're just reaching back for space. We want to think about that same footwork. Left, right, left, right. Left, right, left, right. As we get right into this, Steph Curry gets into this really, really well.
24 shooting 58%.
And Steph Curry hitting the wing.
And it's one of his go-to moves along with others. But this tween behind as he reaches back for space is one that he hits whenever he has a taller defender and he's trying to press him downhill. Off that tween, engage and disengage. We're gonna go ahead and engage with that defender, and we're attacking downhill. And to release off of him, we're gonna hit an in and out dribble. Off that in and out dribble, we wanna bump and engage. Then off that release, we wanna go ahead and get into our motion steps and run underneath the basketball. This is gonna be our bounce out. Once we're downhill, big turn, run underneath the basketball. Now it's gonna be important that we turn our shoulders. Now, we don't just simply face downhill and slide over. We're gonna go ahead and bump. As soon as we bump and release, we're turning our shoulders and sprinting to our spot. That's gonna be key to get into an effective bounce out, is gonna be the rotation of our shoulders. Turn, rotate, sprint to the spot. If we don't have a defender on our side, like the previous bounce out, and that defender happens to be a bit in front of us in our path, we can get into a misdirection bounce out. Off this exchange, I'm gonna go ahead and swing my foot over the top, very similar to a swing step. Off that misdirection, gonna hit and pull over the top. Now you can get into this off the crossover exchange. Between the legs is really common, but off a crossover, you're gonna be able to create just a little more space. Off that crossover, pull, right? And we get our feet right underneath the basketball. That's gonna be our misdirection bounce out. As we engage and get downhill, we want to go ahead and pocket the basketball, pulling that ball into our frame, keeping our hand behind the basketball, and we're rotating our shoulders and sprinting to the spot. We're gonna go ahead and veer out. Once again, we're not gonna keep our shoulders facing downhill. We wanna rotate those shoulders after we pocket the ball. That way we can go ahead and sprint to the spot. This is gonna be our veer out. Once again, off the bounce, pocket, rotate those shoulders. This is a very tough shot to hit as you're somewhat going away from the basket. But as we often say, tough shots are tough to block, and vice versa. Easy shots, easy to block. We're gonna get right now into a pro pull-up. We're gonna let our last dribble hang. Once we let that ball hang, our feet are gonna come right underneath us. We're sort of getting into a sidestep footwork. Off the bounce, we're gonna go ahead and pull that ball into our frame, right into our sidestep. So we're actually gonna be facing away from the basket, eyes and shoulders to middle. Off that last bounce, we're gonna go ahead and rotate, pull, right into that sidestep. Make sure we delay the pickup. It's a great way to reject the screen or get that defender curious and maybe turn this way for a split second, and you just go ahead and slip on out of there. Now we're gonna go right into this pro pull-up. Be careful with your pickups and really get to space, rotating those shoulders. Anything we do, we ought to have a counter for. We're gonna get right now into our step back counter. Once we punch and reach back for space, we sail hand to the ball, eyes to the rim. Now, as we punch, we're gonna go ahead and leave that inside foot down, reach back for space, sort of create that mini closeout, hand to the ball, eyes to the rim. We're gonna exchange through, and we'll go ahead and get into one more step back. We're constantly looking for that three-point line, especially great shooters have that knack of where it is, always toeing in and out, engage, disengage, always know where that three-point line is. Plant, off that hezzy, exchange, go ahead and find that line. Typically, right-handers love going to the right off the drags, and vice versa. Lefties love going to the left. It's just a little more natural. But as a right-handed predominant player, if we get to our left, there's a great counter move, and that's gonna be our single foot replacement as we get into our step back. Now, off that drag, we're gonna go ahead and get our opposite foot underneath and immediately trigger that step back. Now, off that drag, replace, and get right to space. We wanna make sure, once again, we're delaying our pickup, right? We're not picking up too soon. Replace, then step back. Off that drag, dig that foot underneath, boom, pick up at the very last second. Now you can get into this going to the other side, but it's just gonna be a little more natural going left. Drag, replace, let that ball float, get to space. All right.